Are you a perfectionist? And is your quest to make everything with your membership perfect holding you back? If that is you, you're going to want to stick with me for today's episode of the Membership Guys podcast. Let's do this.
You're listening to the Membership Guys podcast, bringing you proven, practical tips and advice from the leading experts on growing a successful membership business each and every week. And now, here's your host, Mike Morrison.
Welcome. You are listening to the Membership Guys podcast. I am your host, Mike Morrison. Thank you so much for joining me today. On today's episode, we're talking about perfectionism, and particularly perfectionism when you're going through the process of starting a brand new membership. Perfectionism can be crippling. So if you're at the start of your journey, or in fact, even if you've been running a membership a while, a lot of what we talk about today will apply if you find yourself constantly overthinking, overanalyzing, fretting about trying to get everything perfect. We're going to tackle that today. So let's just set aside the fact that what is perfect is completely subjective. What's perfect to one person will be flawed to another. That's just a cold, hard fact. So when you're trying to get things perfect, you have to ask, perfect for who? If your answer is everyone, I want this to be perfect for absolutely every member, then you need to give your head a wobble, because that literally will never happen, because everyone is different. Everyone has a different definition of what is perfect. Everyone has different preferences, different idiosyncrasies. Perfect isn't a binary box. It's not a single box that you tick. It's not a point that you reach that ticks every box for everyone. Perfect is down to perception, right? And yet we see so many instances of people starting the process of building a membership, and then 6 months later, they're no further forward because they've been constantly going back and forth, chopping and changing everything, making last minute decisions about changing the software they're using, the design that they're using, the layout of their site, fiddling and faffing, trying to get every little thing totally perfect before they launch that membership and put them out into the world. And they never end up doing that. Perfection kills progress. And while you're stuck in the trenches trying to fine-tune everything so that it's just right, or worrying that what you're doing just isn't good enough, then you're putting your business at risk. You could be missing your window, missing your opportunity. There's a term for this, opportunity cost. What is it costing you to try to pursue this myth of perfection? What are you missing out on by choosing to focus on trying to get everything right rather than getting your membership launched right now? There's a well-circulated quote from a guy called Jack Canfield who wrote The Success Principles. Don't get it perfect, just get it going. And he's right. In fact, the full quote is, don't get it perfect, just get it going. Babies aren't born knowing how to walk. And it's true, this applies to memberships, it applies to pretty much all walks of business. Stop trying to get everything perfect from day one. Done is better than perfect. Launched is better than perfect. And the irony is that memberships especially, perfectionism is a complete myth. Perfection is unattainable because memberships are always evolving. When you build a membership, you're not creating a finished, complete product. You're not packaging together an online course where you have to get it as good as possible. It has to be perfect. You want the lessons to be amazing. It's all got to be bundled in a nice, tidy package with an amazing little bow tied on top. And then you put it out there for sale and it's complete, it's finished. That's not what a membership is. A membership is a living, evolving, ever-changing product. The membership that you launch today won't look the same as the membership you have in 12 months' time, 2 years' time, 3 years' time, 5 years' time. Because as your membership grows, you're going to gain 3 things that you do not have right now if your membership hasn't yet launched. You're going to gain experience, you're going to gain feedback, and you're going to gain data. Experience in the reality of running a membership and the practical side of creating all the different types of content that you set out to create, of keeping up with your production schedule, of running your community, of managing it day to day. Often the plans you make day one, those plans that you're trying to get perfect, you're trying to find the perfect content strategy, the perfect release frequency and schedule. Often those plans that you make at the beginning and the reality of putting those plans into action differ greatly, but you're not going to know what that picture actually is, what that reality is, until you have experience of actually putting it into practice and running your membership. In terms of feedback, as you run your membership, you will be getting crucial feedback from members about what they like, what they don't like, what's missing for them, what works, what doesn't, how they prefer to engage with your membership. And this feedback will elicit ideas that you'd have never thought of. It will contradict the things that you thought your members would love. So once again, if you're sitting there not yet launched, worrying about whether you've got the perfect combination of features, the irony is you will never be able to answer that question until you have launched. So if you're holding back on launching because you want to get it right, you are preventing access to the very thing that will help you to get it right, and that is experience, feedback, and data. And so with data, you need the hard data about how people will use your website, what content is most popular, how real people actually fare in navigating around your website, using your menus. Does everything make sense to them in the way it makes sense to you? When you have that data, when you crunch into analytics, you'll be able to identify things that don't flow as well as you thought. You'll discover that the must-have crucial feature that you pained over for months actually is not of interest to your members. The content that you thought everyone would flock to, nobody's consuming it. And the thing that you barely gave a second thought to is the most useful thing, most visited page in your membership. That experience, that feedback, that data is crucial for the continued evolution, the continued fine-tuning of your membership site. And if perfection were to ever exist, which it doesn't, you would only reach it through having that experience, feedback, and data. And so you can't get those things until you've launched. So you've put yourself into this chicken and egg situation. If you're holding back on launching because you want to try and get everything as perfect as it can possibly be, then you are preventing yourself from accessing the experience, the feedback, and data that could ever help you get anywhere close to what you might define as perfection. All of this stuff, the experience, the feedback, and data, will change the face of your membership over time. It will change your content strategy. It'll lead you to remove things from your membership, to add new things, to test new things, to experiment, to iterate. This is the reality of running a membership. It's a living product. It's a continuous evolution. The way that people use your membership will change over the years. The way that you want to run things day to day, that will change as your life changes. And what is the most efficient, effective content strategy, the best tech setup, the best combination of software, all of these things, they will change too over time. So again, if you are in that period before you have launched, you're trying to get a new membership off the ground, but you are stuck. You are faffing and fussing, trying to make everything perfect. What's the point? Because even if you somehow create this mythical perfect membership, that perfection will be short-lived because the goalposts will move as you gain experience, as you collect feedback, and as you gather data. By letting go of perfectionism, by not stressing over whether every minute decision is the right one, the perfect one, by recognizing that done is better than perfect, and that your membership will never be truly finished, you free yourself up to focus on what really matters, getting your membership launched and serving those members. Because frankly, your members don't care about 90% of what you are fretting over. They'd rather have a messy membership that gets them results than a perfectly meticulously constructed one that doesn't deliver the goods. So ditch perfectionism. Do what you can with what you have right now. Get it done, get it launched, embrace the evolution, embrace messy, embrace continued tinkering, experimentation, and interaction. Your own members and your own sanity will thank you for it. And if you are still in that analysis paralysis, overly perfectionist mode, ask yourself, what is this costing you? What is it costing you to allow this ridiculous pursuit of something that is truly unattainable, and even if it were attainable, would be short-lived? What is it costing you versus simply getting your membership up and running, bringing your members in, and unlocking the potential to actually craft a membership over time that best suits the reality of what your members want, how they use your site, and so on. And that reality will not become clear till you have the experience, till you have the feedback, till you have the data. That only comes once your membership is actually up and running. So if you have found yourself at that impasse, if you have found yourself stuck, if you have found yourself overindulging perfectionist tendencies, and that is getting in the way of you launching your membership, or if you're worrying, you're anxious, you're stressed that people aren't going to think your membership is good enough, stop. Listen to this episode, re-listen until the message sinks in. Perfectionism kills progress. Don't get it perfect, just get it going. I do hope this has helped you. I see far too many people get stuck, far too many people give up on creating what could have been an amazing membership because of perfectionism, because of chasing this myth. I do hope today's episode, if you found yourself stuck, has given you that little bit of a boot up the backside. And even if it doesn't apply to you, if you're not in those early stages, maybe you've been running your membership for years, it's always a good reminder that perfectionism is nonsense, that it kills progress, that it's crippling, and that actually our members do not care about the things that we spend our time pulling our hair out over. Like, some of the most successful memberships have been dog ugly. They've had horrendous technology, but they've delivered the goods. They've been what members wanted, and more importantly, they've actually launched and pushed the membership and marketed the membership and reached people. They're not just sitting there constantly stuck in development because, you want to get the perfect color for the button on your sales page. This sort of stuff doesn't matter. Don't let perfectionism, nitpicking, and fannying around to hold you back from launching your membership and helping your people. That is it from me. This was a short but sweet one. Hopefully it's been useful for you. I'll be back again next week with another installment of the Membership Guys podcast. If you enjoyed this week's episode of the Membership Guys podcast, we invite you to check out membershipacademy.com. The Membership Academy is the essential resource for anyone at any stage of starting, growing, and running a membership website. Whether you're still trying to figure out what your idea is going to be, or whether your website's already up and running and you're just looking for ways to grow it and attract new members, then the Membership Academy can help you to get to the next level. With our extensive course library, step-by-step membership roadmap, exclusive member-only discount perks and tools, as well as our supportive, active community that will help you along the way with feedback, encouragement, and advice, the Membership Academy is the perfect place to be for anyone looking to start, manage, and grow a successful membership business. Check it out at membershipacademy.com.